Okay, this is attempt 2 at the cat food stove system. First attempt failed because I did not put in enough fuel. Everything worked, but I didn't boil the water. So we're going to start over again. I have my testing tray here to make sure I don't burn the house down. This would be the cooling pad that I'll use underneath the stove, which is just the lid to a tomatoes can. This is it. This is the cat food stove. Not much to it. Just a normal little cat food dish, which has been smoothed out and punched a bunch of holes in it evenly. That's it. So I'll put that on our little tray. Next is pouring in the water. So I'm going to have to set this down for a minute so I can pour. And I will show you. We are using Sunnyside Denatured Alcohol, which was the #1 recommended choice. And we're going to put in 2 tablespoons, which should give us about 8 minutes of burning time. Alright. Next, I have the other part of the tomato can, which is going to act as our water. So I have 2 cups of water in there. This is not preheated, just room temperature. And I'm going to go ahead and light the stove. Alright. Yeah, it's catching fire a little bit, that spilled there, but that's okay. That'll burn out quickly. And it takes about 30 seconds, they said, for it to prime and be ready to go. We're actually looking pretty good there. The flame, as you can tell, is pretty high and yellow. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this puppy on there. Try and get it even. So there we go. That's the stove going, and you can see, I'll get a little close up here, see those flames are really working. Once it gets primed, they just shoot right out those little holes and even start to go up the edge a little bit. And you can hear it cooking. Water is going. So we started at 2 minutes 30 seconds about that we put in the water, and we're going to see how long it takes to finally boil it. While we're watching, just to kill some time here, the #1 recommended option was the the denatured alcohol that we showed you there. The #2 option is what's called Heet. This is a antifreeze type car product that is made out of methanol. Not to be confused with ISO Heet, which comes in a red bottle and is actually made out of isopropyl and is not good. That would be the 3rd recommended option because it typically burns with a yellow flame and will put soot on the bottom of the can. So if you have a nice titanium can it's going to ruin it. So, denatured alcohol 1, yellow Heet 2, red Heet 3, 4th option could just be straight isopropyl alcohol, but if it's not at least 90%, don't even bother. It won't burn well. Other things to know about this, it doesn't burn very well in cold weather. So room temperature, too windy, you'd probably want some sort of wind resistant shield or a heat pad around it to help retain the heat in those situations. But just doing it as a test in your kitchen, it seems to work pretty well. Additionally, it weighs less than an ounce and easily can make a new one if you break it on the trail. So we are at about 2 minutes here, and if you look, we got those little fish egg bubbles in there that are slowly starting to pop up. So we're doing pretty good at 2 minutes. Our gas seems to be holding up, at least better than it did the first time around. You can tell it's working. It's making a lot of noise. It's pretty simple. It's probably why there's 9,000 different versions of these on the internet, because everybody has their own little trick or addition. But I don't think it gets much simpler than this. They say don't try to boil more than 2 cups of water because you just won't have enough burn time. But if you wanted to create a bigger version of this, you could use a tuna fish can or a larger cat food can, and then have a larger pot with more water. You can see the flame is starting to come along the edge here. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but I think it's just because the pan is a little bit small and the heat's moving up the edges there fairly well. You can see the boiling is starting to move now. We're at just about about 3.5 minutes. Should see some action here in about a minute or so. Another piece of advice on this, if I didn't mention it earlier, is obviously the can's hot, so taking it off is careful. But you don't want to just lift it straight up quickly. That can create a sort of backdraft situation where the air sucks in and then whooshes out a flame quickly. So they recommend slowly moving it to the side, and that should solve all your problems. So we're at 4 minutes now, and those fish eggs are really starting to move on the inside. We haven't gotten to a raging boil yet, but you can see it's moving. In the back country, this would be warm enough for me to pour into my meal. I'd be perfectly happy with water this hot. But we'll let it keep going just to see the full effect. I think we're going to be ready in about 1 minute. You look in there and you can see that puppy is moving. Those guys are boiling fast. We're at 5 minutes and this guy is definitely boiling. We'll see if we can get it to a real raging boil here. Oh, there it is. Put it down and all of a sudden it goes. So there it is. 5 minutes almost on the dot, and this guy is boiling like crazy. So we're going to go ahead and try to take this off slowly. Try not to burn down the house. Those flames are coming up now, so I'm going to try this really carefully. Yeah, just like that. You can see the flame will, you just let it keep burning, it'll burn itself out. But you now have boiling hot water. Just like that. That'll do it.